Welcome to Tribe Talks.
I'm Ethan Jane.
I'm Wanisha Thomas.
I'm Nia Ford.
I'm Gabby Villanueva.
All right, in today's episode for Tribe Talks, we're going to be talking about the government shutdown, how it affects us, what we think about it, and that kind of sort of thing.
So,
How did it happen though? Like what?
okay, so basically,
Educate us.
Trump needed funding for his wall. So,
5.7 billion.
$5.7 billion, people. $5.7 billion. So, of course, the Democrats don't agree with the wall that he wants to put up on the southern border. So, they aren't going to fund it. So, he just shut it down until we do fund it. And that happened December 22nd. Mm-hmm. And it is now January 17th.
That's crazy. That's like the longest
How many days
shutdown.
is that?
Yeah. 21 days was his longest, and now we are in the 27th day, I believe.
22nd.
22nd day.
Is it 7?
I think it's the 27th. I read that somewhere.
Well,
It's the 27th day.
the longest
27?
government shutdown in U.S. history.
Wow.
Mhm.
That is crazy. Will our government ever come back?
Now, what I'm thinking about is the negotiations they're having. They're not really making any progress, especially with that kind of stuff. I know their legislation or whatever bill they proposed, the big factor about the whole thing is the wall. They like the other stuff about it less, such as stronger border security with some of the
See, I like the idea. Like, I see his point, but at the same time,
There's
like
a better way of executing it.
Like, the money-wise, like $5.7 billion for just, like, a wall.
Mm-hmm.
And
And that's
And he wants it, like, out of steel and
Yeah.
not, like, concrete. Because I understand, like, if you want a wall, we can make you a lot of, like, little parchment
Fences
paper.
or something.
But concrete or, like, steel is the way he wants.
He wants it to be serious, right?
Let's talk about the people who work, okay, so there's 320,000 workers, like federal workers now, who don't have jobs because of the shutdown. So, like, federal departments are closed and
National parks are closed.
They're not closed. They're just
they just don't
open.
they're
They
just
don't
open and they have
people that
workers.
Work. Yeah, they don't have workers.
Yeah, but like the first few days, there was like some parks out in California that a bunch of people were going to, but it was like getting so dirty and trashed and like people were getting hurt that they had to like kick everyone out because it was like no one to regulate it.
Yeah. Several of, like, the small agencies that, like, we have in the government, like, ran out of funding. So, like, now they're shut down or, like, they're closed and they have no one to work for them. And
TSA is still working without pay.
Okay, they said, like, statistics says that we lose, like, negative, like, $1.2 billion per week because of the shutdown, and the wall costs, like, $5.7 billion. So, are we gonna go, like, bankrupt, like America?
oh my gosh,
Isn't
imagine.
that crazy?
We're already in debt.
Imagine.
Even more.
I mean, what's a little bit more?
Well,
honestly,
I'm kidding.
Honestly, I just like to say that, like, kudos to him for being, like, so, like, headstrong about his promise that he made, because there's a lot of politicians that come into office and they are like, oh, like, they make promises before, like, and that's why we elected them, because of the promises that they made, and then they don't keep their promise. But he's like, I made this promise and that is why I got elected, so I'm going to, like, push it through. Obviously, like, terrible plan like, in my opinion. This is not that great of a promise, but I go him for trying to keep his promise at least.
Now, I know some of the effects at home, we've had several effects, such as Miami Airport.
Yeah.
They had to close down the terminal because of the lack of TSA agents, and they're all taking sick time off, and they're just not showing up to work, and they're just not doing what they're supposed to do because of their pay.
They're not getting paid.
They're not getting paid.
So,
I mean, when you're not getting paid, you technically have to do that job.
but apparently there's, like, lots of donations coming in to pay for, like, people who are without, like, a job or whatever, or, like, who not without a job but aren't getting paid because of the government shutdown. So
I have a question. I don't know if you can answer it, but when the government comes back online, do they like get all back the
that
money?
is also
that
my
money?
question.
Yes.
They get it back.
Wait, hold on.
so.
I don't think so.
No, I think so. I do think so. But then there's all, like I said, the 320,000 people who have no job right now. We're gonna have to pay them all back for the 27 days that we've been, like, in a shutdown. That's like it's gonna add up, and it's gonna be a lot of money. So.
And their bills are already past due. And
Yeah,
they're just
like,
taking hits on.
And let's talk about the, like, teacher that couldn't get her FAFSA because of the fact that the government has been shut down. Like, this actually affects us. Like, locally, this girl couldn't get her FAFSA because, like, it couldn't be processed because well, there's no
No one
one
to
working.
process it.
There's no one to process it. So she
Yeah.
couldn't get her FAFSA for her books, and she couldn't pay for her books herself. So there was no way for her to, and we all know how important it is. If you don't have your book in a college level class, then
You can't.
you can't function.
You don't do the class.
Yeah, you just don't do the class. So, like, that actually affects us. It's crazy.
It's crazy that the government affects us.
Well, like, directly.
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
And so quickly, too. Well, it has been 27 days, but
27 days.
that is
I
crazy.
feel like at this point, because like I'm not big on like keeping up with what's actually happening in the room where it happens, but I'm like at this point it's just like they're just waiting for the Democrats to concede because it's like it's been so long. Like they're just like, oh, they have to now.
Yeah.
So
I think they're just waiting for them to give
and the
in.
Democrats are just like, nah, man.
Yeah.
Who do you think is gonna give in first though?
The Democrats.
The
Because they're all like
Democrats.
stubborn.
Because, I mean, because they're not gonna get anything by keeping it running except like more back pay and all of
Yeah.
this other bad stuff. But like the Republicans, they could wait all day because they're gonna get what they want in the
Yeah.
end. So,
That's
they got
crazy.
time.
Honestly, I don't know if you guys can answer this question, but like, is this allowed to happen? Like, that is a genuine question of mine. Like, is he allowed to do this? Like, throw a fit and then just shut everything down?
Isn't that like affecting like our security in USA?
Yeah.
He
Like,
didn't
other-
shut it down. It's the fact that the two parties can't
It's
reach an
Congress.
agreement. It's
Okay.
Congress because they're not working.
Yeah, we
Okay.
still have military though, so
Do we? And I thought,
Well, all essential parts of our government are still running because this is only a partial shutdown. It's not like a
Okay.
major.
and I heard that he's gonna call like a national crisis or something like that.
Yeah. In order, if he does that, he would be able to build his wall using his emergency powers.
Is
why don't you just
that
do that instead of the government shutdown? Like literally.
What? That's scary.
Didn't you like want to take money from like the California in case they get fired?
I saw something about that. Yeah.
Tax returns.
No, seriously, like W-2 forms are coming. Well, it hasn't
W4,
hit
yeah.
the season yet, but
Oh no, I got mine.
Your tax
you
return?
got your W-2 form already?
Yeah, I already
I
got
thought
it.
W4.
No, it's
W2.
W-2.
Oh.
So like when you work, basically
Okay.
students who work, you know that when you work, you get a W-2 form, and basically it's like you turn that in to you use that to fill out your taxes, and that it tells you how much money you're gonna get basically.
But do we still get our taxes because of the government shutdown?
Well, the government like tax season officially starts, isn't it January 22nd, I believe. Don't fact check me on that, but
Do fact check her. Know when tax season starts.
okay, but January 22nd is when it like starts, and that's when you can officially start doing your paperwork and stuff. So we won't, if it opens before then we're good. But if it doesn't, you can turn in your paperwork for taxes and stuff, and you can but it just won't be processed until the government opens again.
Mm-hmm.
So when will we get our taxes?
I have a question.
You want that tax refund?
Yes, a tax refund is important to a lot of people.
I
That's true.
have a question. If we're like losing money in America, right? How do people like get their salary? Like regular people who aren't like really affected by the government shutdown, but like independent like companies, since like we're
Because
losing stocks and like stuff like investors, like how are they gonna give like salary to like regular people who aren't really affected but still kind of will get affected?
I think the answer is they can't.
Wait, but they're independent. They're not
They're
companies
independent
with
from-
the government.
They're
so
independent
they're
of the
still
government,
working
yeah.
and making money.
How do schools work?
See, that's the thing. Like,
Local government. This is the federal government.
Ah, wow, you're so smart. Kiss your brain.
Thank you for tuning in to Tribe Talks.
I'm Ethan Jane,
I'm Wanisha Thomas.
Nia Ford.
Gabby Villanueva.
and we'll see you next time.